sending it back to?
Send it back. Send it back. So put
But
it up for adoption.
adoption? Wait, well, hold on. We talking about kids here?
Yeah, we're talking about families. You got that age? Why ain't you married yet? Why ain't you got that?
Why I'm not married yet? You want to know why I'm not married yet? Because I'm not married yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a strat. You guys want to watch this video with me? Hold on.
What does Dolphin Emulator do?
Dolphin?
Yeah, Dolphin.
You can play GameCube games on it.
Oh, GameCube.
And Wii games. Do you see my YouTube?
You see,
In the chat? You see it?
In a moment, I shall.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, like, you should totally look at it right now. Like, what are you doing? Like what? Like, hello? Like, what are you doing? Like, oh my gosh, totally, totally, like, what are you doing? Like, I literally just don't know what you're doing. I literally just don't know. I literally have no idea. I'm just so concerned. Why did I fucking turn my mic off? Hello? Alright, speak?
Yo.
Okay, there you go. I'm gonna fucking beef real bad. Ugh, farted. Alright, so I'm gonna start this video, because why not? I'm gonna start this video. Because it's about time. I've been trying to go back into Photoshop. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn. I'm trying to learn. I've been telling these bitches I've been trying to learn. I be trying to learn and shit. I don't like baby acting up, you know what I'm saying? Deproving. Alright. I'm gonna play it.
In today's video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know to get started in Photoshop as a complete beginner. So, without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. So in today's day and age, Photoshop is clearly a really valuable
don't waste my
skill
time.
set. In fact, I've been able to build a six-figure content creation agency.
Don't waste my time.
And Photoshop is a huge part of that. So you should definitely pay attention to this video, watch it until the end, and master Photoshop for yourself, because you're going to be able to even sell this as a skill. So once you open Photoshop, this is kind of what you're going to be seeing. So the first thing that you need to know if you want to get started is to click on Create New, and that's how you can create a new document. And as you can see, here you can set the name of the document, the resolution of the document, the orientation, and
art school.
Also the color mode. So for this document, I'm going to set 1080 by 1350 as the resolution, and I'm going to call it Instagram picture because I'm going to edit an Instagram picture for myself, and I'm going to click on Create. So now, as you can see, my brand new document is created, and you're going to be seeing something like this as well when you create your first document. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is import in a picture of mine. So all I need to do for that is to go on my desktop where I have my picture stored. I'm going to drag and drop it right to this document, and boom, you can see it's already in there. So if I want to, I can make it bigger or smaller with this thing. If I hold down shift, I can actually adjust the way it is completely, so I can transform it like this. I'm not going to do anything for that right now, so I'm just going to click on this button, but if you wanted to, you could. Now the way Photoshop is kind of laid out is there are all these different tools right here on the left. These are the ones that you're going to use the most to edit your pictures and manipulate them. And if you are looking for anything that isn't right there, it's already in there. So something like this as well when you create your
I'm gonna be doing a lot of rewinding and fast forwarding and stuff. So bear with me.
Oh, I got you, boo.
Yeah.
Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is import in a picture of mine. So all I need to do for that is to go on my desktop where I have my picture stored. I'm going to drag and drop it right to this document.
Could I actually fucking do that with Photoshop? My damn. Hold up. Do, 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 do. I just want to try something. Hold up. I'm gonna like do some shit like wow.
Oh.
That photoshopped? It's crazy. Oh, these are just GIFs. Hold up. Girl. Put that shit away.
Nah, girl. Put that shit away. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like. You know what I'm saying? Like. You know what I'm saying? Like. Put that shit away. You didn't even remember. I didn't even see it. Calm down. Where's my homework? Your homework? Well, yeah, sorry about that.
And boom, you can see it's already stored. I'm going to drag and drop it right.
Okay. I was about to say, this fucking shit not open.
God. Every time I get to that part, I keep forgetting.
Right to this document, and boom, you can see it's already in there. So
Also, I want to point out how I liked this video, and this is my first time watching it. Like, I'm being for real. Like, this is literally my first time watching this video, because this video was sent to me like fucking like a month ago. Cause my friend was gonna teach me Photoshop. Like, obviously, you know who I'm talking about, Dan. But a friend of mine was gonna teach me Photoshop. Yeah, he has like, I know he's busy and whatnot, but if he really wants me to like learn, then like, you know, you could like help me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get a head start on my own, and then if he wants to still teach me, he can. But it's fine. At least you're going back into learning art. The thing is, too, I've been thinking about it for a while. Not for a while, because this happened recently. I thought about what my professor said to me when I was doing my portfolio development, like review. They're like, keep drawing, keep doing art. Like, even after you're done with school, and when you continue to move on with your future, like, just keep doing it. Draw something every day. Just learn. Just go out and learn stuff when it comes to art, you know? So, I'm like, you know what? If I'm really, like, passionate about this, then, like, I should, like, broaden my horizons and actually learn Photoshop. And the thing is, I use Photoshop, but that was back in high school, and I don't remember anything from high school. I do, but not... I do, but in this class, I don't remember anything, so...
You know what?
That's really it.
if I want to, I can make it bigger or smaller with this thing. If I hold down shift, I can actually adjust the way it is completely, so I can transform it like this. I'm not going to do anything for that right now.
Are you gotta
just
draw?
gonna
You got
click
so
on
much
this button,
potential.
but if you want
I
to,
know. That's why I want to get back
the
into
way
drawing
Photoshop
too.
is kind of laid
Like,
out is there are all these
Beside,
different tools
hold on.
right
You need to shut the fuck up for 2 damn seconds. Anyways, not about. What the fuck am I saying? No, not just digital art. I wanna, like I actually wanna like start drawing with like pen and pencil again. Besides digital art, I want to learn different types of art. It doesn't matter what it is. I will say, don't do that draw every day thing, because you're either gonna get burnt out or just not know how to draw. I guess. I don't know. I only drew like a couple things, not anything too seriously. They're like maybe like mini sketches of like random ass shit. I haven't drawn like anything too like significant, like extravagant.
Here on the left, these are the ones that you're going to use the most to edit your pictures and manipulate them. And if you are looking for anything that isn't right there on this bar, you can always just go to Window and then toggle on and off any of these different tools. Basically, right here you can find the history, which is a tool where you can either go forward or backward with the progress of your image. So if you want to undo something, you can do it right there, or if you want to go back to a previous place where you were before, then you can do that as well. So that's really useful. And then here you have the color selector and all these different things that you can.
Color selector, hold up, I want to mess with that a bit. Ooh, hold up. Black. Shit. Cancel that. Oh, okay.
You can use. Here you have adjustments where you can do a lot of cool manipulations for
My
your
shit's
pictures.
still fucking.
And
Alright.
here you have the different layers, which I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into. Adjustments where you can do that as well. Here and off. Edit your picture button, but it goes right here on the left. Now the way Photoshop is kind of laid out is there are all these different tools right here on the left. These are the ones that you're going to use the most to edit your pictures and manipulate them. And if you are looking for anything that isn't right there on this bar, you can always just go to Window and then toggle.
Oh, I can do that shit with Window too. Okay, the Window. Oh, that's actually really nice. Windows layers. Okay, properties. Okay.
On and off any of these different.
Alright, why the fuck is my
tools.
thing keep loading?
Basically, right here you can find.
Are y'all still here? Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Any of these different tools. Basically, right here you can find the history.
History. Oh, okay, that's history.
Which is a tool where you can either go forward or backward with the progress of your image. So if you want to undo something, you can do it right there, or if you want to go back to a previous place where you were before, then you can do that as well. So that's really useful. And then here you have the color selector.
Alright, why the fuck
and,
is my
all these
fucking
different things that you can use.
Twitch on my
Here
phone
you have
right now?
adjustments where you can do a lot of cool manipulations for your use. Here you have the color selector and all these different things that you can use. Here you have adjustments where you can do a lot of cool manipulations for your pictures. And here you have the different layers, which I'm going to go.
Alright, I'm
a little
actually
bit
just
more
do
in
this
depth
shit
into
like
later on in this video. So now first let me go over the most
Alright.
important and
I'll
most
watch the
useful
video
right
first
here.
and then
So
like go
this
over
first
it
one is the
later
move
on.
tool, which is something you can use to move anything around, any of the layers, anything really on your picture. Now the next one is the selection tool, which is also something that you're going to use a lot. It is something that you can use to layers, anything really on your picture. Now the next one is the selection tool, which is also something that you're going to use a lot. It is something that you can selection tool, which is also something that you can use to move anything around, any of the
Selection tool,
layers,
okay.
anything really on your picture. Now the next one is the selection tool, which is also something that you're going to use a lot. It is something that you can use to, for example, select a part of your picture and then make a selection with it, like the name suggests. And for example, if I wanted to just copy and paste this part of the image, I can just click on Command C and Command V, and you can to, for example, select a part of your picture and then make a selection with it, like the name suggests. Just cool manipulations for your pictures.
I did to my mother
And
before.
here you have the
was
different
talking to me
layers,
about
which
the
I'm
learning
going to
about
go
the
a little bit more in depth into later on in this video. So now first let me go over the most important and most used tools right here. So this first one is the move tool, which is something you can use to move anything around, any of the layers, anything really on your picture. Now the next one is the selection tool, which is also something that you're going to use a lot. It is something that you can use to, for example, select a part of your picture and then make a selection with it, like the name suggests. And for example, if I wanted to just copy and paste this part of the image, I can just click on Command C and Command V, and you can see I just made another layer right here, and now I have this separate part as well. And you can see here with this eye icon, you can also toggle on and off any of the different layers, which is a pretty useful thing. Because, you know, once you have a lot of layers, you might not want to see all of them at once. You might just want to edit a certain layer, so that can be really useful as well. The next tool right here is the lasso tool. Now, it is something that you can also use to create a selection, so you can just
Ain't got no Wi-Fi. Even McDonald's got Wi-Fi. Nah, they tripping, bro.
Using your touchpad and tool. Now, it is something that you can also use, which is a pretty separate part. Made another layer right here. And now I have this separate part as well. And you can see here with this eye icon.
Why does my fucking phone keep loading? It's fucking annoying.
Different layers,
can you see if my Twitch is still here, like alive?
Because, you know, once you have a lot of layers, you might not want to see all of them at once. You might just want to edit
Please and
a
thank
certain
you.
layer, so that can be really useful as well. The next tool right here is the lasso tool. Now, it is something that you can also use to create a selection, so you can just press down your mouse or your whatever you're using, your touchpad, and make a selection like that. Now, if you want to go out of a selection, you can always just click on this one and then click anywhere, and the selection is going to go away. The next tool is the quick selection tool, which is something that I personally use all the time to mask out people or mountains or trees or any different objects. For example, if I wanted to mask myself out of this image, I would first need to click on this one, which is the plus. Now, if you're on this plus brush, then you're basically adding more things into your selection. And if you go into the minus brush, then you're subtracting things from your selection. So first, I'm just going to add myself, and you can see how smart Photoshop is at detecting like different edges and all that. You can later on also adjust this, but you can see how it's doing a pretty good job at selecting just myself. That is it. It did a pretty good job. Now, if I wanted to do any like really precise adjustments to this selection, I could hit Q on my keyboard like this. You can see now all the parts that aren't selected are in red, and the parts that are selected
that's actually really
are
cool.
not red, obviously. So if you want to make any small tiny adjustments, you can just zoom in on your image, which you can do by either just using your touchpad or clicking Command and minus and plus. And basically then you want to go to this brush tool, or just press B on your keyboard. And then if you have black color selected, you're going to be adding more things to the selection by brushing over.
Let me check something. You know what? Hold on. One second, chat. I'll be right back.
Then here you have the color.
Ugh. Alright, why the fuck is my fucking... Hello?
Yo.
What the fuck is going on?
Here you have
I'm trying to like look at my stream. This is why I wish I need another monitor. I can't fucking tell if my thing's acting up or not. Cause my Twitch keeps it keeps like loading.
It, and if you have the white color selected, you are going to take things out of your selection, and you can switch between black and white by just pressing X on your keyboard. So once you perfected your selection, you will click on Q again. So now I'm happy with my selection. I'm just going to press Command C and Command V, and you can see how I just cut myself out and now there is no background attached to this image. The next tool is the crop tool. You can use this to crop your image to whatever kind of size you want it to. Now the next tool that I use a lot is the spot healing brush. Now this is something that you can use if you want to cover up any imperfections or anything like that. I don't know what would be the best example in this case, but maybe like any small acne or anything like that can be easily fixed with this. So I'm just going to create a smaller brush size, which you can adjust right here on the bottom top, even smaller one. And then I'm just gonna brush over this, and you can see how it disappears. It is a really cool tool to use if you have any stains on a shirt or any acne or anything like that you want to just cover up. The next tool is the brush tool. I kind of covered that already with the selection part, but basically it's the top, even smaller one. And then I'm just gonna and if you have the white color selected, you are going to take things out of your selection, and you can switch between black and white by just pressing X on your keyboard. So once you perfected your selection, you will click on Q again. So now I'm happy with my selection. I'm just going to press Command C and Command V, and you can see how I just cut myself out and now white by just pressing selection by brushing over it. And if you have the white color selected, you are going to take things out of your selection, and you can switch between black and white by just pressing X on your keyboard. So once you perfected your selection, you will click on Q again. So now I'm happy with my selection. I'm just going to press Command C and Command V, and you can see how I just cut myself out and now there is no background attached to this image. The next tool is the crop tool. You can use this to crop your image to whatever kind of size you want it to. Now the next tool that I use a lot is the spot healing brush. Now this is something that you can use if you want to cover up any imperfections or anything like that. I don't know what would be the best example in this case, but
I don't know what the
maybe
hell's
like
going on.
any small acne or anything like that can be easily fixed with this. So I'm just going to create a smaller brush size, which you can adjust
I think it's probably just
on the bottom top. Even smaller one.
I have no idea.
And then
I literally don't know.
Brush over this, and you can see how it disappeared. It is a really cool tool to use if you have any stains on a shirt or any acne or anything like that you want to just cover up. The next tool is the brush tool. I kind of covered them. I don't use if you want to cover up any imperfections or anything like that. I don't know what would be the best example in this case, but maybe like any small acne or anything like that can be easily fixed with this. So I'm just going to create a smaller brush size, which you can adjust right here on the bottom top, even smaller one. And then I'm just gonna brush over this, and you can see how it disappeared. It is a really cool tool to use if you have any stains on a shirt or any acne or anything like that you want to just cover up. The next tool is the brush tool. I kind of covered that already with the selection part, but basically this is just the brush tool. Like you can brush over things with it. It is really useful. You can use it in a bunch of different ways. Here you can actually select how big you want the size of the brush to be, the hardness of the brush to be, and the flow as well, all these different things. I think you should go ahead and experiment with it a little bit. This alone is just a tool that I could spend minutes, like tens of minutes talking on, and this is not the video for that. But if you want to learn it for yourself, do some adjustments and see how it works. But you can see how I can brush over things with it. Now a really cool tool that you can kind of combine with this and everything else is how the opacity of the layers work. So if you go right here to the bottom right corner and you click on opacity, you can actually change the opacity of these different layers, so you can see how it changes the whole thing. Now the next tool is the clone stamp, which is also a really useful tool to use. Basically with this you can kind of, so if you go right here to the bottom right corner and you click on opacity, you can actually change the opacity of these different layers, so you can see how it changes the whole thing. Now the next tool is the clone.
I want to try that out. Hold on. Probably can't really tell because it's like
Clone stamp, which is also a really useful tool to use. Basically with this you can kind of also get rid of anything on your image or cover things up. So for example, if I wanted to fix my hair on this image, you can see it's all over the place. I would go here and make my brush size smaller, and then I need to click Option on my keyboard and then take a part of the image, which I'm going to kind of like duplicate on the image, and then you can see yeah, the object must be rasterized. That's fine. You can click OK on that, and then you can see how it kind of just takes a part of the image and lays over on the other part, and this is really fun to use as well. Like you can see I already fixed up my hair, and I just got rid of that. Obviously you would want to do like a much better job at this and take more samples and make it more precise, but you can cover up anything with this. Now the next often used tool is the eraser tool. You can use this to erase any parts of a certain layer. So if I wanted to erase...
The fuck happened?
erase you know, my head, for example, from this image. I'm just going to deselect the lower layer and just have...
I apologize for the video that's keep buffering. I have no idea what's going on with the fucking
this one
internet in my house.
And I'm just going to go ahead, select this layer that I want to you know, erase something from, and I'm just going to erase it slowly. And you can see how I have just erased my head. Pretty cool, right? The next tool is the gradient tool. So this is something that you can use to create different gradients, obviously. So I'm going to create a new layer, which you can do by clicking on this button right here. And if I click on this part, I can make the gradient different color. So let's make this one, for example, green. And then I can just go and do this, and then you can see I just made a cool gradient. So this looks pretty modern, if you ask me. I can adjust the position of these. So you can see, because I already cut myself out of the frame, I have this. I can actually make it look something like this, which would be, you know, pretty modern looking and kind of cool actually. So yeah, you can use this to create different gradients. There are a bunch of different presets here as well, and yeah, it is also a really useful tool to, you know, play around with. Now the next very often used tool is the text tool. Basically all you need to do with this is to create a new layer, or select the layer that you want to write on, and then press somewhere on the image, and then you can basically start writing. So I'm just going to say you know, like fashion on this picture. Now I can you know, move this around by clicking Command and T on this text, and I can make it bigger or smaller, whatever I want really. Then I can also obviously change the order of these, so I'm gonna make myself overlay that text kind of, and you can select this text and change the font to anything that you want to change it to, and boom, you can see I just changed the font. That is how simple it is to use. You can change the color of the text or anything really. You can do whatever you want with it. That's one of the reasons why Photoshop is so great, because there are so many ways to manipulate your image and create amazing art. So the last thing I want to cover right now,
Blue Yeti mic too. Okay,
the,
I see you.
Different shape
I see you,
tools.
big dog.
So you can have a rectangle tool, a rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon, line, whatever. There are so many different shapes and things that you can use, and you can see that you can select the fill here. So with the rectangle tool, it's basically going to be like what the shape is filled with. You can also have a stroke if you want to, or you can have no stroke, and yeah, basically you just go ahead and that's how easy it is to create a different any rectangle types, and this is the same way the other shape tools work as well. Okay, so the next thing I quickly want to go over is blending mode. So on this image I want to add,
was that part 4? Part 4 was a lot.
So I actually downloaded this cool lens flare image from Google, so I'm just going to drag and drop it on top of my picture, and I'm going to actually make this be the top layer so it overlays everything else. I'm going to press Command T and resize it so it's a little bit bigger, and I want the lens flare to kind of come in something like this, like it was the sun, and then I'm going to place this layer right here, and then next I'm going to go here to blending mode, and then you can see how it works with the different blending modes. So for example with lighten or screen. Then next I'm going to go here to blending mode, and then you can see how it works. I'm going to place this layer bigger and actually make this to add picture, and I'm going to actually make this be the top layer so it overlays everything else. I'm going to press Command T and resize it so it's a little bit bigger, and I want the lens flare to kind of come in something like this, like it was the sun, and then I'm going to place this layer right here, and then next I'm going to go here to blending mode, and then you can see how it works with the different blending modes. So for example with lighten or screen, it blends in pretty well, so I'm going to select screen, maybe make it a little bit even bigger, and you can see how it added.
That's
like,
really cool
lens flare.
I know you can do shit like that in
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
I want to soften the edges of this,
Like for real, I didn't even know that.
My eraser tool, make the hardness lower, and you can see if I turn it into a smart object, I can kind of you know, take out parts where I don't want it to have it, and boom, that is how simple it is. I just added a cool lens flare to the image and made it a lot more exciting in my opinion. Another thing I quickly want to go over is the adjustments. So if I want to, for example, make myself a little bit more contrasty or brighter on this image, I'm going to click on this layer that I want to adjust it, and then I can choose any of these different adjustments. So you can change the hue or saturation of it, exposure, vibrance, anything like that. So I'm just going to create a curve here and create an S-curve to make it a little bit brighter and more contrasty at the same time. And you can see how this adjusts layers that are under it. So I can on and off it and see how it changes the contrast of the whole image. But if I only wanted to adjust one layer that is under it, I can right click on it, create clipping mask, and you can see now it only adjusts under it. So I can on and off. So I'm just going to create a curve here and create an S-curve to make it a little bit brighter and more contrasty at the same time. And you can see how this adjusts layers that are under it. So I can on and off it and see how it changes the contrast of the whole image. But if I only wanted to adjust one layer that is under it, I can right click on it, create clipping mask, and you can see now it only adjusts my face and my masked out self. Now I'm going to go over blending options really quickly as well. So select the layer that you want to change the blending options of. And this is a place where you can do a bunch of cool stuff with it. Like you can change the stroke of it, and here you can, you know, make the stroke any size. You can also do like different bevel and embossing here as well to make it look like 3D kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go super deep into it, but I want you to, you know, play around with it and check it out for yourself. You can do like gradients, overlays here on whatever layer you're adjusting, pattern overlays, a bunch of cool stuff. And one of my favorites is the drop shadow here as well to make it look like 3D kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go super deep into it, but I want you to, you know, play around with it and check it out for yourself. You can do like gradients, overlays here on whatever layer you're adjusting, pattern overlays, a bunch of cool stuff. And one of my favorites is the drop shadow, which you're probably going to be using a lot. And you can, you know, adjust the angle of the drop shadow, the distance of the drop shadow here, the size of it, the opacity of it. And you can see how I created this cool looking text by just adjusting a couple blending options. Now that you have your masterpiece ready, let's go over how to actually export this image. So you're going to go into File, Save As, and then you're going to go Save on your computer. And then you will select wherever you want to save it. You can name it here, and you can select the format here. So I'm going to use JPEG for this one, and then I click save. I can choose what kind of quality I want it to be. I'm going to press on the max quality and OK. And then boom, that is basically all there is to it. You can see now my image is right here and saved on my desktop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like below and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Okay, alright, well, I'm still gonna fucking, I'm gonna look up some more stuff. Hello?
Yo.
Okay. I'm gonna do some shit in Photoshop later. Yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna do some stuff in Photoshop. I want to watch some more videos, actually, because I'm kind of interested. Actually, what's some other stuff that Jay sent me? I gotta fucking see what he sent me. Because I don't know what he sent me. Besides the fucking thing that's 11 hours long. Like, you gotta give me, like...
a day, at least.
That's pretty much how long. Like, half a day to fucking see the damn video. Let's see.
But you can watch it in 6 hours though. That 11-hour video, I'm sure.
Huh?
You can watch that in 6 hours, can't you?
Probably.
Make it like 30 minutes. You can watch that whole thing.
Just fucking cut some parts out. No, wait. I don't know. Maybe. Watch it in 2 seconds. Why am I dropping frames when I'm not even doing anything? My thing's on YouTube. It's literally on things that I watch, except Good Burger. I haven't seen Good Burger in years.
Oh, that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it, but I've seen reviews of it.
No, yeah, I know it's pretty funny. From my remembrance. Let's see what else he sent me. That's like... Is this the shit that's 11 hours? Yeah, no, I'm not watching that. Does that mean anything else? The hell is this?
Wow, I fucked that up bad.
What are you playing?
Oh, Eterna.
So today,
I need a new keyboard because fucking my Z and X keys don't really work too well anymore, so I swapped to A and S, and those keys aren't working too well anymore. So now I gotta use C and V, and it's hurting the hell out of my wrist.
You want to know what you can do?
What's that?
Convert back to the old times. Use the office keyboard.
Man, I lost that shit.
Ah!
That'd be horrible. I'd be like playing on fucking someone else's setup, someone else I know.
Ooh, wait, hold on. What's this? Oh, okay. This shit's in Melville. That's not bad. Oh, I exposed my location. Sorry. Just kidding. I live in Spain. Don't come for me. We're gonna watch another video. Golden rules for success as a graphic designer.
you're going to learn some
must
techniques
know.
that won't only just make your graphic design a lot easier, but also a whole lot more profitable. Now, coming from someone with 15 years experience in the graphic design industry, I've picked up some tricks along the way when it comes to handling graphic design projects. And that starts with something I've decided to call a time cushion. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what on earth is a time cushion? It's really a simple concept, but it's so valuable to your success.
The fuck you
So
call
a
me?
whole lot-
Also, I apologize if you hear my video. Do you hear it? Hello? You still there? Damn, Dan's gone too. Welp.
Huh?
Oh, I asked if you saw my if you hear my video in the background.
A little bit. It's kind of low though.
Okay, all right. That's not too bad then.
more profitable. Now, coming from someone with 15 years
As long as it's not,
experience
like,
in the graphic
blasting in
design
your ears
industry,
or super
I've picked
loud,
up some
then I
tricks along
should
the
be
way
fine.
when it comes to handling graphic design projects. And that starts with something I've decided to call
I know something
a
I gotta
time
fix
cushion.
in Discord. I'll
Now,
fix
you
it
might be
like
thinking to
later or
yourself,
something.
what on earth is a time cushion? It's really a simple concept, but it's so valuable to your success in the long term from client to client. Now, if you're talking to a potential client and you're in the final stages of agreeing on a budget and a deadline, always leave yourself 2 to 3 extra days to complete the project. So if you're pretty certain it's going to take you, for example, 7 days to finish a logo, you can quote them with 10 days. This is valuable because it will leave you room for any unforeseen problems in your work or of what on earth is a term from client to client.
Is it
Now, if you're
this is
talking
basically
to a
just
potential
saying that
client and you're in the final stages of
give yourself
agreeing
more
on a budget
time.
and a deadline, always leave yourself 2 to 3
That's
extra
literally
days
all you have to
complete the
say.
project. So if you're pretty certain it's going to take you, for example, 7 days to finish a logo, you can quote them with 10 days. This is valuable because it will leave you room for any unforeseen problems in your work or personal life. Also, if everything runs smoothly, then you'll have the design ready before the deadline, and this will look really strong and efficient in the client's mind. That can help you with the next
That's just
golden
like
rule in
basic-
today's video.
basic
And the next
routine.
golden rule is to make
That's
sure
like basic
to try and
shit
build
when
a
it comes to working.
post-project relationship with your clients.
Look at that party.
I'm just saying, like,
really
it's giving me
strong and
basic
efficient in the
things.
client's mind.
How am I?
That can help you with the next golden
So am
rule in
I
today's
already
video. And the
being?
next golden
So am I already a success because I have good time management skills? Is that what you're trying
God
to tell
damn
me?
it, Artie.
No, this is what it's trying to fucking tell me. I'm like, why? What do you mean golden rule? How is that a golden rule? That's just common sense. You can't say that's a golden rule when that's common fucking sense. Have a good relationship with your coworkers. That's like normal basic shit. That's literally normal basic shit. It's like working at fucking Walmart or Target. Be like, yo, make sure you got good relationship with the customers. Be all that. That's literally like the same thing. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at that. That's like what to be a success. It's just like, how is that a golden rule? That's just common sense that you should know from the jump.
rule is
That's
to
what
make
I'm trying
sure
to say.
to try and build a post-project
jump.
relationship with your clients. So yeah, great, you've landed a new client and a new project. However, graphic design is often a recurring task, as each business will need the skills of a designer from time to time. You should aim to finish your projects on good terms with the clients, where you leave a positive impression with your skills and your etiquette.
That's okay. That's what I'm saying.
Drop
Like,
them an email from time to time and just create a genuine friendship with your clients. This
good relationship, good with the clients, be friends. Forgot what I was gonna say. Actually, you know what? Fuck being friends. I don't give a fuck. I'm not being friends with any of these motherfuckers if I decide to do this. I'm a lone wolf. Fuck out of here.
The next time they need something designing,
don't tell me what to do. You know what? Nah, fuck. You know what? Nah, fuck this. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me to be fucking friends.
Projects. The third golden rule for your graphic design projects is that you need to remember that presentation of your designs is equally as important as the designs themselves. You need to remember that presentation of your designs is equally as important as the designs themselves. I've spoken about this before and shown you how to use mockups for your presentations, but please don't forget how important the presentation is. You are literally selling your designs and your ideas to the client. Even though you have clinched a deal for the project, you still need to close the deal by selling them your concepts and your artwork. You need to be confident with your designs and the...
I feel like the idea basic behind that shit too is that this shit has to fucking like pop out. Because if you have an idea or something and you know it's like, you think it's gonna work in your head but you don't think that others would like it, then just change it. Change your fucking idea. Make it something that's like, you know, actually, hold on. You know what? I'm gonna finish.
Choices that you've made for these designs. Make the client aware why they work and why.
Also, she's Asian. She's hot.
They're going to work for their business.
Damn it!
You're a smart salesperson at this point in the project.
I had to fucking back up the whole charge.
I knew that would get you. I knew that would get you.
Son of a bitch!
Anywhere online. But one resource that I personally use that
actually wasn't on purpose to mess you up. I just had to make that statement that she was Asian and she saw it.
Has literally millions of downloadables.
Spite me. I know you. You did that instinct.
Even though you have clinched a deal for the project, you still need to close the deal by selling them your concepts and your artwork. You need to be confident with your designs and the choices that you've made for these designs. Make the client aware why they work and why they're going to work for their business. You need to become a smart salesperson at this point in the project. And if you can do that, then you're surely going to make more money and complete more projects. Now you can download mockups pretty much anywhere online, but one resource that I personally use that has literally millions of downloadables is Envato Elements.
You're gonna pay for this?
For example, here I'm looking at this business card template that I think will be great for my financial logo project. When sending your design concepts to a client, make sure the color and the style does fit the brand. As example here, blue and sleek for a financial logo project. It doesn't really need to be overly complicated at all, guys. Just make sure it sells your concept ideas. Golden rule number 4, again, is something regular viewers to this channel should know about, but it's something I must...
So you're basically saying this is common sense that you should have known from the jump, but you're saying this is a golden rule. What's so golden about this rule? What's so important?
Add into a golden rules video. And that is to know the target audience of your designs as if they were your best friend.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
So I'm talking about the targeted group of people that your design is meant to be for. It's the kind of people who are
because like it's like if you design something and people ain't gonna like, they're not passionate about the same things you are, they're not gonna fucking, it's not gonna sell. It's not gonna be interesting.
Interact with your design solutions. You need to know the average
it's like
age,
streaming.
their
it's
status
like
in society, their hobby.
You know that your audience is gonna like Smash Brothers, and if you fucking play like, what's a random ass game that no one knows about?
Guilty Gear.
Yeah, like if you stream like, well, I mean like now it's getting more popular, but like if it's a fucking Smash related streamer. Like a streamer that only streams Smash, only like, and then they play Guilty Gear for a day, and then they wonder why they're not getting that many views. It's because he's known to be a Smash player, a Smash streamer. Like people are gonna come here to watch Smash. People are not gonna watch his streams if he's streaming something else. I've known this from experience. Literally, I was streaming Smash for the first time in like Ultimate, by the way, for the first time in like, I'm gonna say like a couple weeks. No, not a couple weeks. Maybe like 2 months. Yeah, I know that's a big jump, but from 2 months ago, this happened actually a month ago, but 2 months prior, I had streamed Ultimate for a while, and then I got back, I streamed Ultimate, right? And I noticed a viewer was in a chat from like, maybe like a year ago. He's like, oh, you're finally streaming Smash. I'm like, okay, like, that's good. Like, yeah, I only watched you just to play Smash. I'm like, I get that's like what your main the main thing that attracted you to like follow me on Twitch. But it's like you can't support me on like if I stream something else. You followed me that because you were gonna support my streams and support me as a streamer, not just for your own benefit. I don't know. I could be talking out my ass. I probably am, but like, it's just the same. My point is that the same rule also applies to this.
Is there likes and dislikes?
Like the same thing I
language,
just
gender,
talked
and so
about
on.
applies to
If
art.
you design fair solutions, you need to know their average age, their status in society, their hobbies, their likes and dislikes, language, gender, and so on.
Oh my god, that
If your
hurts.
design fails to resonate
The
and
chart is so
appeal
long.
to this group of people,
It's gonna
then
flop.
your job as a graphic designer has not been done correctly.
Are you
It's
sure
that
I've said that
simple.
you ain't shit?
And how do you know who the target audience of the design is? That is golden rule number 5. Job as a if your design
I
fails
wonder
to resonate and
if all these
appeal to this
motherfuckers in
group
the
of
video
people,
actually
then your job as a
studied
graphic
art.
designer has
I
not
highly
been done
doubt that
correctly.
shit.
It's
I highly
simple.
you see that motherfucker, you see that fucking bitch, she talking out her damn ass. The bitch with the fucking, not with the sunglasses but with the regular glasses. She's talking out her ass. She's talking about fucking like
Dude,
forensics in a fucking art video. Cat.
some guy made an MS Paint in my fucking dream. Told me the next time I see him in my dream, he will consume my soul.
I didn't even know
Apparently
you were here. When'd you get here?
I don't know. Apparently, he's related to Garrett
Word?
in my dream. Yeah.
Oh. Also, hi. I'm streaming by the way.
Greetings, Scribs.
What's up? I took like 3 naps today. I just woke up from one.
That's sick. I'm streaming.
Oh shit.
No, you're good.
Oh.
I'm just
Hello.
fucking. I'm just watching
Thank you.
YouTube videos. Huh?
Give me a second. I gotta go take a shit.
Oh, okay, all right. Have fun.
Oh.
Don't die.
And how do you know who the target audience of the design is? That is golden rule number 5. Ask questions. In the early stages of your project, you should ask your client basic questions. And I personally like to send them a questionnaire with the questions on there. That kind of rhymes. Anyway, as a graphic designer,
What
the
rhymes?
stages of your project, you should ask, how do you know who the target audience of the design is? That is golden rule number 5. Ask questions. In the early stages of your project, you should ask your client basic questions. And I personally like to send them a questionnaire with the questions on there. That kind of rhymes. Anyway, as a graphic
They
designer,
kind of rhyme. You're just saying
it's golden
questions.
rule number 5.
You're just saying
Ask
questions,
questions.
over and over.
In the end of a questionnaire project, you should ask your client basic questions. And I personally like to send them a questionnaire with the questions on there. That kind of rhymes.
Oh wait, that actually did low-key kind of rhyme. Never mind.
Anyway, as a graphic designer, you want to know key aspects of your client, their goals in business, their brand, and as we've mentioned, their target audience, also known as the target market. And the best way to do this is to ask questions. You need to get this out of the way early on in the project, so you're not sending them emails constantly throughout the project. If you do keep asking questions throughout the whole project, this likely is eventually going to annoy them, and it does show signs of weakness. Sending them emails constantly to get this out of the market. And as we've mentioned, their target audience, also known as the target market. And the best way to do this is to ask questions. You need to get this out of the way early on in the project, so you're not sending them emails constantly throughout the project. If you do keep asking questions throughout the whole project, this likely is eventually going to annoy them, and it does show signs of weakness. So yeah, ask questions and succeed. The 6th golden rule is another no-brainer to me, but that's because I learned this the hard way after going through some nightmare situations with past clients. Absolutely 100% always use a contract and secure a deposit prior to starting any
What
work.
do you mean?
The contract is going to prevent you from being taken advantage
Oh.
of, and it would explain
no, that's
everything that is expected
I
of
guess
you
it's
as a
just more
designer.
so. I guess that's more so like for any business factor.
Securing a deposit means that you
But
won't
this would
work
mean
for
more
free,
since it's your
even
commission.
if the client ends up rejecting your work. you'll still at least have a deposit up front to fall back on. Freelance websites often use escrow wallets, which can be a safety net. However, you're still
I
going
can't
to
even
need
focus
to
anymore. I lost my
negotiate your
focus.
funds from there if things do turn sour. So it does make sense to still use a contract even in that situation. And in that contract, you will need to stipulate that deposit is required. But yeah, thanks to Envato Elements for sponsoring today's video. If you follow the link in the description box below, you can get yourself a 50% discount when selecting the annual subscription.
Why is this guy sound like pyrocynical?
Access to over 55 million resources for under
I don't know.
$20 a month. And like I said, before Envato reached
How much is this shit?
Like, I'm not the only one noticing that, right?
The annual subscription, which basically
Oh, you gotta pay for that? Fuck that, I ain't using that shit.
gives you access to over 55 million resources
you're right.
for under $20 a month. And like I said, before Envato reached out to me to sponsor today's video, I've been using it myself on a regular basis for YouTube content and also for working on graphic design projects. But yeah, give that link a click down in the description box below and take a look at that offer of 50% off the annual plan. Now, if you want to watch more graphic design content by myself, do click a video on screen. And until next time, guys, design your future today. Peace.
7 free resources. Oh, they're free resources? Oh, I wanna know.
Just when you thought Satori had run out of awesome free resources, he comes at you with 7 new websites that you can make great use of in your design workflow. And that starts right here with this super handy website for social media artwork or designs. Now, we graphic designers...
I'm gonna watch a few more videos and just end my stream, by the way. Because I don't wanna, you know.
often work for clients that need social artwork, or maybe for our personal 7 new websites that you can make great use of in your design workflow. And that starts right here with this super handy website for social media artwork or designs. Now, we graphic designers often work for clients that need social artwork, or maybe for our personal branding and social accounts. It can be confusing to know what size each document should be relative to each social media platform. Well, this website has up-to-date sizes for every single platform, and not only that, it offers free downloads, as you can see here, for XD, PS and AI. They are quick and easy to download, and I'm sure you can see how helpful this website can be, and it's probably a good idea to bookmark this little gem somewhere in your folders. The website also has some tools up here which I haven't explored too much myself, but that's something that you might want to do in your own time. However, the main lure of this website is, of course, all of the social media document downloads. Speaking about free downloads, this next resource has tons of ready-made to use templates. Now, if we give a quick search for contract as example, we can see all of these templates come up in the search results. You want to ideally look for this label here in grey that says free. Now, they have tons and tons of categories, as you can see at the top. And looking at the invoice template section,
why does all these
we have a nice
motherfuckers
number of free
only have a
downloads.
MacBook? They don't even have a
This
fucking...
website does have some excellent free finds if you do look around.
They don't have no
And it's
Windows
another
computer?
one I suggest you add to your bookmark folder. And going back to our social media theme today, we even have templates for things like IG stories.
Like, you can
These
have a
can
MacBook,
be
like, that's not
real-time
the
savers
issue.
to
I'm
us
just
graphic
saying, like, you
designers,
could...
And I'm all for saving time in my workflow. But of course,
I'd rather...
it's best to
my
edit your
personal
templates
preference,
and
I'd rather
make
have a
them your
Windows
own
computer.
and not just use them as they are.
And actually run
But
more
what about
shit.
some free fonts? Not only free, but
Fucking hell.
entirely open source.
Fucked up again.
Use modifiers that
Wow,
can
one node
interfaces
and-
that are open source.
With these
Meaning
harder
that
charts
you
need
can
turn up.
adjust
If you
them
fuck
and
up
do
one
whatever
node,
you
it'll
like to
destroy your
them
whole. It can
before
destroy your
using
whole
them on
rhythm,
your commercial projects.
Mm-mm.
and it's what it did
Yes,
for me.
there isn't a huge
One
amount
node will
on
lead
here,
to
but it's another interesting
loss of other
free
nodes.
website that you can
Mm.
Or
bookmark.
missing other nodes, I should say.
In this year of
It's the most
2022, my
obnoxious
favorite
shit.
website is still PureHub. I've kind of Project Icon 8 on this channel before.
Let's try one more time.
Hub. But yeah, let's take a look at the next handy dandy resource for us graphic designers. I've spoken about Icon 8 on this channel before, but recently they branched off and they've made a kind of project creator sort of website. It's for those designers who are in a hurry or maybe who lack skills in programs like Photoshop or whatever. You can choose a template, customize it, and then bam, export it. And keeping with our random intrigue of Instagram today, let's hop into one of these story templates. I'm just going to grab a random face to demonstrate, and of course you should pay attention to detail on your designs, so font selection, color choice and so on. But yeah, anyway, it's Valentine's Day soon, and how happy would you be to get this
Valentine's Day.
card
Oh,
from
this
me?
video old. Never
And
mind.
of course, be honest. More free mockups. I thought I'd found all of the decent
Free
places to
mockup.
grab free
What the hell is
mockups,
that?
but it seems I did miss the most obvious website domain name, free-mockup. Just take a look at the amount of categories we have here. Let's go back to basics and take a look at some sketchbook mockups. And when this appears, just click off the screen to sidestep the ad. But yeah, there are some decent finds on here. And in a video last year, I spoke about my approach to mockups. I have folders saved on my computer and my external hard drive with mockups in them, ready to use on projects. This saves me time when I work on a project, so I don't need to search for them on the internet and then download them. I have them all ready to go in relevant folders, and that's just a quick tip for you guys.
Motherfucker, I lost.
Inspiration is often really
Oh my
useful,
god.
especially
That
for
was the
slow
stupidest
days.
error.
This website showcases many cool and inspiring websites. Now, I do like to come here from time to time and browse around and see what's what. It can show you potential trends or just a general vibe within the design industry, not to mention trigger some inspiration in my workflow. Diving into this website here, I'm really amazed by the level of animation involved when simply just scrolling down the webpage
That's really
itself.
cool, actually.
It shows how their product clicks into place and functions all on their homepage. How awesome is that? Now, I do have a set of websites in a bookmark folder based around inspiration. Inspiration isn't copying, you need to make the designs your own. And inspiration tends to send me in a direction rather than replication. There is a big difference there. I find this one is really useful, but let's move on to some free illustrations. This chap here, Lucas Adam, has created a ton of illustrations and he's handing them out for free in a
I don't
single
like any of
download.
these.
You do have to give up your email address for them. but
Fuck
I have a
that.
trick
They
for
didn't
that.
get my email.
I actually have a dummy email account
Kidding.
set up for
Maybe.
any website that asks me for
I need
my
to see more of
address
this-
in
this guy's
turn for
work.
downloads. There are quite a lot of interesting and useful illustrations here.
Are those
And
all?
if you want to grab
Are those all of his illustrations? Oh, not the volume key. Are those all his
address in
illustrations
turn
over
for
here?
downloads.
Oh, I mean, they're okay. I don't know. I don't really have too big of a opinion.
There are quite a lot of interesting and useful illustrations here. And if you want to grab them or any of the downloads in today's video, they are all linked in the description box below. But before you do
It's
that,
like NFTs.
I want to
I
ask
can
you
just
guys
fucking.
to subscribe to my
You're giving me
backup
free
channel.
NFTs? Fuck that
YouTube
shit.
has been pretty weird
NFTs are
lately
fucking
to
gross.
quite a lot of creators, and I don't want this.
Anybody who creates NFTs are a failure at life.
Let me laugh, Hardy.
I'm sorry. NFTs are fucking disgusting. Fuck out of here.
Channel to randomly
I don't
get taken
care.
down in the future for whatever reason, and thus the community vanishing.
Ugly ass
So you can
monkeys.
find my backup channel
What
linked
the
down below
fuck?
as well.
Ugly
I do
fucking
upload random
monkeys.
videos from time to time, and also some re-uploads from the past on the main channel. But if you do want to see more graphic design content by myself, click a video on screen. And until next time, guys, design your future today. Peace.
I want to see some animation videos actually.
Oh, the pattern. I'm done with the chart.
Photoshop? You
Nah.
can do animation in Photoshop? All these videos are like 1,000 minutes long.
1,000 minutes.
Well, this one's like 25 minutes. I guess I'll do this. I guess
Hey
I'll watch
guys,
this.
my name is Shane Deering. I'm a 2D animator and illustrator, and I wanted to just make a quick little video
It's not too loud, right?
about animation in Photoshop.
Nah.
I
Okay.
get a lot of questions about like what kind of software do I use, what tools do I use to make animation. So yeah, I do all of my animation inside Photoshop. It's all hand drawn, frame by frame. Essentially just traditional pencil and paper animation, but on the computer. Before I
Oh my
get
god,
this
that's
going,
fast. I
I'd
can't
like
even
to
hit
just
that.
mention that Alex Grigg, who before I get this going.
Why did my fucking D drive unplug? What?
Nah, girl, that's Mother Crust.
The hell? I'm
That
sorry,
is-
Chad. Give me 1 second.
That is Mother Crust.
All my games are here. That's good. Bro, I should have gotten a bigger fucking... I should have gotten a bigger D drive. Actually, it's my E drive. I should have gotten a bigger one. I'm already like not almost out of space, but I used a lot of space already.
I'd like to just mention essentially.
That's
just
fucking Samurai
traditional
Jack.
pencil and
This
paper
motherfucker animated Samurai
animation,
Jack.
but on the computer. Essentially just traditional.
That shit's
pencil
cool.
and
Hold
paper
on.
Animation, but on the computer. Before I get this going, I'd like to just mention that Alex Grigg, who's a fantastic animator, he has a really great tutorial on Photoshop animation.
Again, why is everybody in this video, these videos that I be watching, using fucking MacBooks? I don't mind. I just find it funny that every video I've watched so far, they've used a MacBook. Get yourself a Windows computer.
That goes.
You can actually play
way
games.
more in depth than.
You can't play
what
no
I believe
games on a
this video I'm
MacBook?
making
Nah, they all
into,
business.
his
Straight
video,
up.
I think it was like back in 2015. That's the thing that I
Literally the
saw
only thing you
that
can play is like
actually
a
got
like
me interested
fucking
in trying to
Visual
move
Boy.
over to Photoshop.
You can play
There
Candy
are a lot of
Crush.
Great, pieces of
This
animation
motherfucker said Candy Crush.
software out there that are readily available.
What are you, fucking
Um,
middle-aged
However,
mom?
I feel Photoshop is
I was
unique
just
in the
thinking
sense
that.
you know, people use it for illustration and design.
Oh, jeez, I lost
And so a
my
program
score
you
getting
can
out
do
on Candy
both
Crush.
those things and
Ah!
animation is very attractive.
Fuck
to
you,
me because,
Timothy!
I do a lot of design work and illustration work in Photoshop.
I completely missed what this guy
available.
said.
There are a
Oh,
lot that
fuck
actually
me.
got me interested in trying to
God damn it.
move over to Photoshop. There are a lot
Can
of
I-
great pieces of animation software out there that are readily
I
available.
mean, do I have to ask why I can't play it
No,
right
you-
now?
However,
you
I
can
feel
play the best
Photoshop is
game,
unique in the sense
Solitaire.
that people use it for illustration and design.
No, I think you're a little too much credit, Brandon.
And so a program where you can do both those things and animation is very attractive to me because I do a lot of design work and illustration work in Photoshop already. And when I
Fucking
found out, like,
la.
oh, man, you can make things move and you can
Terrible
make
start. Let me try that again.
cartoons and animations inside of Photoshop. I was really blown away by that because I remember seeing Alex Grigg's video. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, no one does animation inside of Photoshop. That's crazy. And I guess in a way it kind of is. It is a very unintuitive piece of software for animation. Everything's a little clunky, but if you kind of look past that and practice a little bit, I think you'll find that it's a very powerful tool for making animation. I think its biggest strength is that stylistically you can pull off anything in Photoshop. If you're able to draw it and design it, then you can also make it move. And so having all that wrapped into one piece of software is really nice. You don't have to jump around a lot. So that's really what gave me the push from transitioning.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't hear a single word you said.
Flash, and I jumped over to Photoshop a few years ago, and I still use it every day. Especially like how you would set up a file and classes and books. Let's just go ahead and in any way and authority on that.
Huh?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I took a shower at 10. Of course I did.
I'm gonna watch this video and then we could fucking do something. If y'all want to, I don't know.
Am I good?
Maybe.
Subject.
I'm almost done streaming. I just want to watch this video.
But regardless, let's just go ahead and jump in here. So I've just got a blank square canvas. I've got my.
How's your day been thus far, Jacob? Aside from the naps.
So the first thing that we need to do to start working on an animation in Photoshop is you need to go up to Window
I kind of just
and scroll down
workout.
to Timeline,
I had some
and then click Create Video
I like
Timeline.
chicken,
I didn't
rice,
even know that this thing
shiitake
existed
mushrooms.
in Photoshop.
I didn't. I
It's
like.
pretty mind-blowing to me.
Alex stayed over last night,
There's
right?
Actually, a timeline, even though this thing is
But like,
really, really
so we were up till like
compared to,
7 or some shit like that. We were up
Flash's
late.
timeline or TV
I
Paint's
put up some
timeline,
makeshift blackout curtains
all
because
the
I
other
can't fucking sleep
software
if the
out
sun's
there.
coming in my room.
This is not very good. It's pretty bare bones.
Uh,
But let's jump into this.
I go to sleep.
When
I
you
was
create the
really
timeline
fucking high.
default, it just stretches out your background
Like, so
layer
I just
at
I
what
kept
seems to be
replaying
just
like
an
specific
arbitrary
things in my head, and
image.
it was really fun.
So to start building your animation, you need to put frames
Yeah, that was
into the
good. I went
timeline.
to
So
sleep.
what
Music
what
playing.
layers over here when you're just normally
And then
building a painting
I woke
or a
up,
design file in Photoshop,
and
they're going to
it was still
become
dark as shit in my room.
they're become
Blackout
frames
curtains.
in your timeline. So if we
And
want to
I was
make
like,
a
where the fuck
frame,
did
we
Alex
have
go?
to
I was
go
like,
down
alright,
here
she
and
went to go
click
piss.
new frame.
Go back to sleep, wake up an
And
hour later.
it'll
I'm
stretch
like,
it
"Alright,
out,
I'm fucking
unfortunately,
gone."
all the way to the end
Then I check
of
my
the
snap,
timeline
the
every
snap.
single time you
She
want
had
to add a
She had
frame.
to go to class or
There's
whatever.
nothing you can really do about that
So I was just like, but I
at
had
the
a
moment
dream
with
in which
stock
I was playing. You know the
Photoshop.
Courage the Cowardly
So
Dog
when you
Flash
add a new
game?
frame, it'll stretch it out, and you got.
Oh yeah, that game. I played the
Yeah.
shit forever.
Where you gotta
Compress
find
our
like
timeline
Muriel
here
Eustace.
using this slider. We'll see that
Mhm,
where it
the-
says
the
1,
channel
0,
one,
1
TV
F.
one.
Yeah.
Since I've stretched this all the way down, the size of this
Trying
frame
to
or the length of
fucking
this
watch
frame
this.
is 1 frame. And so we can stretch that out however many frames we want.
Call,
It
but
doesn't matter,
whatever.
2, 3, 4, whatever. So this would be 1 frame.
Oh my
So if
god.
I'll just place a little drawing in here. Since I've stretched a moment with out of we're gonna be over the timeline and scroll down to I've got my layer block over there. So the first thing that we need to do to start working on an animation in Photoshop is you need to go up to Window and scroll down to Timeline and then click Create Video Timeline. I didn't even know that this thing existed in Photoshop. So it's pretty mind-blowing to me figuring out that there's like actually a timeline, even though this thing is really, really bad compared to like Flash's timeline or TV Paint's timeline, all the other software out there. This is not very good. It's pretty bare bones. But let's jump into this. When you create the timeline default, it just stretches out your background layer at what seems to be just like an arbitrary length. So to start building your animation, you need to put frames into the timeline. So what were layers over here when you're just normally building a painting or a design file in Photoshop, they're going to become they're become frames in your timeline. So if we want to make a frame, we have to go down here and click New Frame. And Photoshop,
New frame.
they're going to become they're become frames in your timeline. So if we want to make a frame, we have to go down here and click New Frame.
I want to fucking This is why, like, honestly, I wanted to start. I never did this before. I wanted to start doing animation as well. It's actually good that I could actually animate in Photoshop as well. I like that. I'm gonna utilize Photoshop more. Once I get it down with Photoshop, I want to start streaming art streams, like my digital art. That's what I want to start doing. So, be on the lookout for those.
And it'll stretch it out, unfortunately, all the way to the end of the timeline every single time you want to add a frame. There's nothing you can really do about that at the moment with stock Photoshop. So when you add a new frame, it'll stretch it out, and you got to drag it all the way back down here. And if we compress our timeline here using this slider, we'll see that where it says 101F, since I've stretched this all the way down, the size of this frame or the length of this frame is 1 frame. And so we can stretch that out however many frames we want. It doesn't matter, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So this would be 1 frame. And so if I'll just place a little drawing in here. So if I take this play header thing back, and this thing is just whatever's inside these bounds here of these 2 clips is what's going to play when you press the play button over here. So we have our player here. If I press play, I've got all these extra blank frames here. But if I had 2 frames here, or just 1 frame, this would just loop forever. So whatever's inside these things, it'll just loop and infinitely play over and over again. So this is like your active play area. And over here we have, the play button, which will play it for us. You can also scrub through frame by frame like this, and then this button on the far left takes you to the very beginning of your project. So now, it's not an animation with just 1 frame, so let's go ahead and add another one in here. We're going to press the other frame button. Stretch this thing back down to the left. So now I've got 2 frames, but they're still vertically like a normal layer, like the normal layer functionality in Photoshop. They're still on top of each other, which is a little confusing. So the way that you get everything to line up is this layer that we just added. I'm going to drag it onto the same layer as the first one. And then what happens is, if you notice that name change, now it's a video group. And over here, it's grouped together as a video group. So it's all connected. So now that we've done that one time, Photoshop knows that I want to treat this layer as a video group, meaning I want to have a bunch of different layers on this thing and treat them as frames of animation. So Now, when I click a new layer, it'll default to adding it to the same video group, which I just created, which is nice. That's about like the only thing that Photoshop helps you out with. So now we've got three layers here, 3 frames. So I can, you know, draw more stuff on all these different frames, and now it plays like crazy. Jesus, that's fast. So the next thing I want to show you is this little button over here. If we click that, we can open up the set timeline frame rate. It defaults to 30 frames per second. I'm going to want to change that to 24, which is the standard frame rate for animation. So it plays a little slower.
I didn't know that.
And of course, these are all 1 frame long, and we can change them however we want. They can be as long or short as we want them to be. So I can make this 5 frames, whatever. Make this 2 frames, make this 1 frame.
Actually, since I'm deafened, let me
We get some
actually
jittery motion here.
raise the volume a little bit on
So,
my
the next helpful thing that
on
Photoshop
my,
has, which I was also surprised that this was built in,
my YouTube.
is an onion skin functionality. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, then I'll explain exactly what this is doing. So the onion skin just shows you the previous drawing. And there are some parameters in here that you can mess around with. Right now, it default sets to, you can see 1 frame before the frame you're on currently and 1 frame after. So I always set this to 2, because I usually animate on 2s, meaning each frame is actually stretched out to 2 frames. So when I'm on this center frame here, which is this guy right there, I can see what happened before that drawing and what happened after. And so that basic premise of like the onion skinning is essentially simulating drawing traditionally on paper over like a light box, which is how you do it if you weren't using a computer or anything. So the onion skin just helps guide you through your animation as you're planning it. If these were like the keyframes, right, and I wanted to place a frame in between here, I wanted it to go from this starting point to this point here, right there, but I wanted a frame in between. Now I know where to place it. So now if I turn my onion skin off, wait, shit, how do I turn the onion skin off? Right there. My God. Now I've got that little looping animation here. So the only tool I use to help me inside of Photoshop with the animation is this extension called Animdescent. Let me go ahead and get rid of all this stuff. It's called Animdescent.
I'll be right back, chat. I'm just gonna use the bathroom real quick. Alright, I'm back. Hold on.
Listen.
There you go.
And I believe it's made by a French animator, although I'm not sure. I actually think it's called Anim Dessin 2. And it's an extension, a free extension you can load into Photoshop that all it does really is help clean up the functionality of the timeline a little bit so that you're not wasting so much time adding all of these frames like that and having to manually stretch them down and place them onto the same video layer every time. Because that stuff really builds up. You know, it takes a few seconds each time to do that. Super annoying, ruins the flow if you're really getting into something. So I already have it loaded in here. It's this toolbar right here vertically. That's Anim Dessin 2. So I pretty much only use it for two little pieces of basically they're like little shortcuts. The rest of the stuff, I mean, it's helpful, but I don't really jump into it that much. The only thing I use this for is right here, these two little icons that say 1 and 2. Those are hot like shortcuts for creating frames at either a length of 1 frame or 2 frames. So if I click the 1 frame button, it automatically makes a 1 frame layer for me. And then again, you still have to, if this is not already a video group, you have to drag this onto itself, and now Photoshop recognizes that you're trying to build out on 1 layer or 1 video group. But now I can populate the timeline really quickly without having to stretch all these things back down on top of each other. You can also do 2 frames at a time here. I wish that you could do 3, because sometimes I'll animate on 3s. Sometimes you need to stretch the frame out longer, but it just takes an extra second to take your 2 frame layer here and stretch it out 1 more. So Anim Dessin, super great to just be able to populate your timeline full of frames really, really quickly.
That's 11 minutes.
The other thing that's super helpful,
is there like a time
just
stamp?
a second ago, I was fumbling around trying to figure out how to turn the onion skin on and off. It's really annoying to have to go and click that every time you want to turn it off, because when you're animating, you're constantly turning that on and off, checking where you're going. So let's put a couple drawings in here really quick just so I can demonstrate this functionality in Anim Dessin. So we've got 2 drawings here back to back. This button right here, right beneath the trash bin, turns on and off the onion skin. Just by touching it, it toggles it on and off, and that's super helpful. Just because it does what Photoshop should have had stock. That's basically what Anim Dessin is. It's just like the bare bone tools that already should have been available but aren't. Hopefully, you know, as more and more people animate inside of Photoshop, hopefully things change a little bit. And, you know, Adobe will start building a little more functionality into it, making it a little bit more robust. But until that happens, this is pretty much all we have. That being said, you know, when working inside of Photoshop for animation, there are no tools to help you other than what I just showed you. It all lends itself to the style of hand-drawn, frame-by-frame animation, like traditional animation. And that's the type of work that I love doing. That's really the only type of animation that I do. So that's why I love working frame-by-frame animation, like traditional animation. And that's the type of work that I love doing. That's really the only type of animation that I do. So that's why I love working with this program so much. If you're interested in more like motion graphics type stuff or tweening, this might not be the tool for you to use, because you can't very easily, like if I drew this circle right here, I couldn't have it move perfectly across the canvas beyond just like duplicating that frame. If I Command J and just move it by hand, like there's no way to automate movements inside like that, which sucks. But you know, that's part of the thing with Photoshop, just to be honest. So it lends itself to just traditional animation. If that's something you're into, then this could be a really powerful tool for you. So those are pretty much the only tools that I use when I'm building animation inside of Photoshop. So I guess from now, I'll go ahead and do a quick little demo and show you like how I would work in building something simple. So I'm gonna create a frame here, set it to 2 frames long, and I'll just draw something like a mouth. Yeah.
That's a mouth?
Just draw a little mouth. Give him some lips.
Oh.
Teeth.
Okay, there you go. That's a mouth.
maybe a tongue. One of the reasons why I moved over to Photoshop is just the drawing functionality is just so great. Working in Flash, like I like Flash and everything, or as it's called now, Animate CC, but I just don't like drawing inside of Flash. I hate it.
Animate CC.
So Photoshop, just I've been using it for years just to illustrate, so that's part of the reason why I really wanted to transition over. Man, my computer sounds like it's going to blow up. All right, now I've got my starting point, right? The mouth is open. I'm just going to make the mouth flap, open and shut, just like he's talking or chewing or something. So now I've got my next frame right beside it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the onion skin on so I can see my previous drawing and reference it. So that's a keyframe right here. I guess my other keyframe would be the mouth completely shut. So referencing this previous drawing, I'm going to draw the lips closed here. Get his teeth back in there. Actually, shit. Let me make these go down a little further.
This is pretty interesting to watch.
There we go. So I'm going to stretch this guy back down here so that all I'm previewing when I press play are these two frames. So now I've got this really choppy little motion here. But, you know, it's getting there. It's, you know, I've got those two frames in there. Just need to build it up a little bit. So now I kind of need, I might need a frame in between these two. Little in between here. So I'm going to turn on my onion skin so I can see both of them.
My onion skin. I just think
And
that's
I'll
funny.
draw a mouth that's...
My onions, the onions,
in
my
between these
onions,
two
my
shapes.
onions.
Actually, might need to be a little wider than that. There we go. Put his teeth in. And let's see, where's his tongue over here? So his tongue would be higher up. Cool. Go ahead and shade in the dark part of his mouth. So now it's starting to look a little better. It's obviously lopsided. If I wanted him to open his mouth back up, I need to duplicate this frame and put it on the other side of this one, of the closed mouth. So an easy way to do that is on your keyboard, if you hold the Alt or Option button and then click the frame that you want to duplicate, and then you can just drag it anywhere you want, and it'll duplicate that frame for you and put it right wherever you were positioning it. So now I've got that same frame over here, and if I play it back, now it looks a little bit better, right? Let's see. I'm going to add a couple frames here just to ease the motion in and out, so it doesn't feel quite as clunky or robotic. Hopefully, it'll feel a little more organic. So I'm going to add a quick breakdown drawing here, just kind of slightly exaggerating this stretch of the mouth so that it'll hold its position open just a little bit longer and give us like a little bit more of a sense of snappiness, I guess, and probably look a little more rubbery as well. So there's his lips here. His teeth would move up just a little bit since his mouth is opening up just a tiny bit more. His tongue would also come down just a hair. Cool. That looks alright. Fill this guy in real quick. I'm also going to add a breakdown at the end of this too, where I exaggerate the squash a little bit more. So it's going to get just a bit more squashed, a little thinner, a little wider. Stretch his lips. Go. So now I've got my 2 breakdowns, which should help the motion just a little bit. Yeah, it feels better. One thing I'm going to do, though, real quick. One little quick tip. If you want something to feel like
I really
super
just watch this
snappy,
motherfucker just animate him
sometimes
out.
you got these breakdowns, right? On both of these
It's
extremes. So
interesting,
this
though,
is my
and it's
keyframe.
cool.
This is an extreme, and this is an extreme,
This is
meaning those
something
are the
that I
2
can,
main poses in this animation.
I can
And I've
utilize
got this
when I want to
in between here, and I've got these 2 breakdowns, one on each side. So
Well,
if
obviously, I
this
want to
thing
learn how to
really
like
snap
actually
really
use
quickly, I'm gonna
Photoshop for
just
its
try
drawing
getting rid of
capabilities
the
first,
in-between
and then
altogether.
later on, I want
It
to
feels
start
like way more
animating.
cartoony already. I kind of like that better.
Probably
I might
some
leave
shit
that.
like this, honestly.
Leave that in between out of there. Let me see. The only other thing I could do, it still doesn't. It feels a little too like snappy. Right as I'm going to replace essentially that in between with a sort of like an exaggerated smear frame. So his mouth is going to open up just a little bit more here. So it's kind of an in-between, but it's favoring the closed position. And it's like he's trying to open his mouth, but his teeth are still going to be connected. And that way it'll exaggerate the motion a lot more. And it'll make it feel snappy without making it feel like too overly
Like he fucked up a little bit.
choppy, because it feels a little choppy right now.
Maybe that's just his intention. I'm not sure.
So his teeth are stretching, everything's stretching as he's fixing to open up his mouth. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So now we have our little animation here. It's all in one video group. If we compress this down over on the layers, so over here it shows it vertically instead of horizontally, which can be kind of confusing, but it's the same thing as over here. These are all the same drawings. Layer 1 would be my first drawing, so if I toggle that on and off, I can get rid of it, change the opacity. I can even move it around where, oops, that's the background. I can even move the mouth around wherever I want. Doesn't matter. So if I compress this video group, I can move the whole video group as long as I'm just moving the whole video group. I can move it around wherever I want, and it'll move all of the frames together in the same spot. So that's super helpful. Like, where it was positioned, I think right here, maybe it's not completely centered. You don't have to worry about that. You can just jump into the animation, Command T the whole video group to transform it and move it around, and I can move it wherever I want. If I want one guy right there, if I want that in the corner, I can move that in the corner. I can also take this whole video group, Command J, and duplicate the whole thing, and now you'll see that I have a copy of that on top of itself in default, and I can transform that thing and move it over here.
Oh wow!
It'll all be the same animation. So if I look at in this project file of another animation I did, I'm sure you can see how crazy the timeline all these frames can get. But when I first jumped into Photoshop, I was just doing small little experiments wasn't comfortable in taking on anything super serious, just little small things. But eventually got comfortable with it, and
It's gonna be me.
it
when I get
became
used to Photoshop.
the only tool I use for hand drawn animation.
How does
But
fucking?
yeah, like just take it, baby,
Oh my.
have some fun,
I
experiment, and
totally
then you'll get fat.
How does computer get from
Here,
fucking
top of
oh, I mean,
itself,
just
and deep
transition.
these frames can get.
guess
Transform
a
that thing and
transition,
move
but
it over
holy
here. You can see how crazy the timeline all these frames can get.
Transition.
But you know, when I first jumped into Photoshop, I was just doing small little experiments. I wasn't comfortable in taking on
'Cause I was
anything
like, wait,
super
how the
serious,
fuck is
just
this
little
computer on-
small things.
Jump
But
from
eventually
25
got comfortable with
to
it,
66.
and it
I also
became
noticed that it's a different day. It
the
was on
only
Friday,
tool
now
I
it's on
use
Tuesday
for hand drawn
at different time.
animation. But yeah, like just take it baby steps, one step at a time. Just have some fun, experiment, and then you'll get faster at it. You'll get more comfortable.
That's what I wanna do.
And then you can start doing more complex stuff. I might do a video later on where I sort of jump in more depth to some of my project
subscribe to
files. But yeah, I hope this helped. I mean, Photoshop can be a great tool, although it's very unintuitive and clunky at times for animation. You can use all these gorgeous brushes and filters and effects, and you can paint and do all this crazy stuff
This
that
I'm
you
gonna
can't
watch
do in a
next
lot of
time.
other 2D animation software.
Well, I don't
So,
really need to do 3D.
Give it a
Maybe.
try.
I
Yeah,
can
I
learn.
appreciate you guys watching. I hope this helps.
Hey,
I'm gonna like this, and then I'm gonna view this another time. But anyways, yeah, I want to learn how to do art more. Like that's what I went to school for. I did visual arts, like painting, 2D design, 3D design, like drawing, like stuff like that. That's why I want to learn more about animation, computer animation, digital art, 3D art, stuff like that. So anyways, I will do more art streams when I get used to Photoshop and animation and stuff. But for now, I'm gonna bounce. This is a very short stream, but I just wanted to just chill with you guys and just watch some art stuff. Me learning how to do Photoshop and stuff. So anyways, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow because I don't think I'm going nowhere. I know Wednesday I'm going out, but Tuesday I don't think I'm doing anything. So I'll be back with whatever. Stay peachy, y'all. Bye. I'm out.